Okay, welcome back. For this video, we're going to look at learning target 1.2, how the spheres interact with each other. So specifically, we need to be able to, this is where this learning target fits with the rest of our learning targets. This is our second learning target. For this learning target, we specifically need to be able to describe the major spheres of Earth, so the geosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere, and then explain how matter and energy can move from one to another. So that's what we're going to try to do in this short video. So the four spheres are the atmosphere, hydrosphere, geosphere, and biosphere. And given a map or a picture like the one that is here, you should be able to find an example of each one. So let's go through and define each. Our atmosphere is all the gases that surround our planet. So the oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, water, anything that's above the surface of the Earth that's a gas would be considered our atmosphere. Hydrosphere is all the water on Earth. So there is some water in our atmosphere. There's some water in the ground, some water in living things. So a lot of these spheres overlap with each other, and that's fine. But if it's water, then it's considered part of the hydrosphere. And that leads us to our geosphere. Geosphere is the rocky part of the Earth, everything beneath our feet down to the core of the Earth. So mountains, rocks, dirt, all of that is part of the geosphere. And obviously water can exist inside of the ground, so we can have some overlap between the geosphere and the hydrosphere. And the biosphere is all living things. That includes trees, birds, animals, things that live in the ocean. So again, we could have some overlap. All living things have, or pretty much all living things have water in them. There's living things that live in the ground, so there's some crossover into the geosphere. So there's no set boundary between the spheres. They all kind of overlap with each other. So the last idea is that matter and energy can move through each. So here is the carbon cycle, and our next learning target is to specifically understand the carbon cycle, but we can see that carbon can exist in the atmosphere of CO2. It can be taken into a tree through the process of photosynthesis. The tree could die and decay and put some of its carbon into the soil as organic matter. Or it could be eaten and become a part of the biosphere. Matter continuously cycles around. So we learned in our first learning target that Earth is a closed system, which means that we get energy from outside, but we don't exchange matter. So that means that the matter that we have has to continuously move around. So that's matter cycling. And then when we talk about energy, we talk about energy flowing. And the sun is the source of primarily all of our energy on Earth. There's a few exceptions, but the sun, in the case of the water cycle, causes evaporation to happen, which then condensation, precipitation, and runoff, and all those other things happen because of that. So the energy is flowing through the cycle. Every time it changes state or changes location, there's some energy lost or friction, and so that initial energy needed to cause the evaporation, that energy will eventually dissipate into the atmosphere as heat. So all of the energy that we get here on planet Earth will eventually leave into the surroundings as heat. So we should have been able to answer both of these questions. The four major spheres, check, and explain how matter and energy can move to each sphere. And I think we did that as well. Thank you.